we're going to be ranking the 3 wide receivers that potentially want out from their current teams. Debo Samuel, Terry McLaurin, and A.J. Brown. But before we rank them, some breaking news happened. Debo Samuel is frustrated with the 49ers, and he does not want to be back with them. And so much so that Debo Samuel's brother has commented on the 49ers Facebook account. It's a fan page on Facebook that Deebo will be asking for a trade from the 49ers. Oof. And he said he won't be a 49er. That's all that matters. And Bobby Thompson, who's verified on Twitter, said Debo Samuel has made his stance known. He is frustrated with the 49ers, and it seems he wants to play elsewhere. Keep an eye out for this. The draft is 9 days away. Teams have already shown interest in trading for him.
That's insanity.
So it sounds like Debo Samuel.
Come on now, boys. Come on. Y'all gotta get it done. Y'all gotta get it done. Now, that would be crazy.
Now, we'll react to this real quick, then rank these wide receivers.
Damn.
You getting a stomach ache?
Debo Samuel, his brother just commented on this 49ers Facebook account.
Social media, what an age.
That Debo won't be back with the Niners. Debo Samuel, I'm talking to you, man. What better team to come than the New York Jets? I know A.J. Brown on Twitter was like, he liked a tweet that said he didn't want to be in New York. Well, guess what? The feeling is mutual here, too, because we going to get Debo.
Shout out New York Jets fans only. Look what they just put up 15 minutes ago. Can y'all see that?
Come on.
And now, listen, I want to say this. Debo Samuel, if you come to the New York Jets, you see this T-shirt I have, Zach Wilson is good? Well, I got to get a new one that says Zach Wilson is great. Because it's going to be Deebo, Corey Davis, Elijah Moore. Let's double dip at wide receiver. Let's get another big name, maybe Jameson Williams. Let's get stacked at receiver. Oh yeah, now we're talking. Come play with your former defensive coordinator and Robert Saleh. Mike LaFleur is here. Zach Wilson, big time year 2. Zach Wilson is good, folks. He's good. He's good.
And LaFleur is going to use him very similar to Shanahan now would. You know, they come from that same tree. It wouldn't shock me at all if he's going to get 80 carries a game.
We saw how they use Braxton Berrios. You're getting Braxton Berrios.
PhD.
Crack, literally.
Debo Samuel.
PDs. That's a PhD.
Yeah,
well, he's basically the doctor. I mean, he's
Debo Samuel, one of the first players ever to play the wide back position. Top 5 wide receiver year last year. Last year, when I said he's better than DK Metcalf, people called me crazy. I said I'd even take him over A.J. Brown. People called me crazy. You saw this season. And with Mike LaFleur, the Jets, Zach Wilson, yeah.
Things get electric.
Yeah.
What do you think he goes for?
Second rounder.
We have 34 and 38.
If you had to go up to 10, you're not doing it?
I don't think we have to.
He's young.
He is.
Only thing is he has an injury history, which is why I would favor, but he's young. Going into year 4.
For sure. I think 34 and 38, both of them would get done.
Okay.
No, I mean, if you think Tay and Tyreek both went for late first, I know Debo's younger, but I mean.
If you had to trade the 23 first, you're not doing it.
Oh, no. Not 2023. Yeah, we have to, because love the Jets. We don't have the best history in terms of winning, so I want to keep that pick if it is.
But I mean, if you're trying to trade for a Debo Samuel, you're trying to win now.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I don't think
you
would
have
take
picks 4 and 10 that could be impact players that come in, and you guys could be really in contention for a final playoff spot if everything goes
stay healthy.
Correct.
That's the biggest thing, because we have not been able to stay healthy for, it seems like, my entire life. Since 2015 with Ryan Fitzpatrick, honestly.
I don't disagree, man.
Let's rank these wide receivers now.
Let's do it. This is kind of easy. I'm pretty sure we might have all the same lists. You might shock me, but go ahead.
You go first.
You want me to go first?
Yep.
All right, so at number 1, Debo Samuel. Now, a lot of my reasoning behind this is kind of linked to one another. So I have Debo, I have AJ, and I have Terry. Now, my reasoning for having Debo number 1, he has the production plus the versatility. As Joel mentioned earlier, he is one of the founders of the wide back position. You have AJ Brown, who has the versatility but doesn't quite have the production that Debo Samuel has. Last season, Debo put up an unbelievable season, 1,400 yards, 8 rushing touchdowns. He was phenomenal. But AJ, he's struggled to stay on the field, has over 1,000 yards these past 2 seasons, but hasn't really had that upper echelon season that we saw from Debo Samuel. And lastly, I have Terry McLaurin, who doesn't have the versatility that these other 2 have. However, he's still an excellent wide receiver option. He's easily been put in the worst situation out of these 3 guys, but now he's got Carson Wentz. He gets Carson Wentz as his quarterback. And maybe with an upgrade like Carson Wentz, we start to see him teeter into that top 10 conversation, but he still lacks the versatility, but still does have the intangibles to be a great wide receiver option.
Very well said. What's yours?
You know,
he might have Terry over AJ. That's the curveball for me.
I went on this whole spiel about Debo Samuel just now. And it wouldn't feel right if I didn't give you guys the actual list I have. Because
Terry won?
I was thinking of changing it up. But I won't do that.
No way.
Number 3 is Debo Samuel. He's had one great season.
That's insanity.
Injury concerns.
Dude, what's going on?
He benefits.
Bro, that might be your best take ever. You should stand on that hill.
It's not that I don't think Debo's a fantastic player. I think Debo's a fantastic player. Debo, NFL is a year-to-year basis thing.
Okay.
It's as simple as that. Am I still taking Debo over DK? Absolutely. This list is off of what these players have done and the situations they've been in. I look at Debo. He's had one great, fantastic season. Injury concerns.
He does.
The fact that Kyle Shanahan's his offensive coordinator helps him a lot in terms of scheming. If he was with another team, who knows how he gets schemed. Even though Jimmy Garoppolo is not a great quarterback, he's average, and the quarterback plays better than anything Terry's had.
Barely.
And you have a running game that is established in San Fran.
No doubt.
A.J. Brown is number 2. He's had 2 1,000-yard seasons, but he's missed 7 games in the past 2 seasons. His best season, 76.8 yards per game, which is better than everybody's on here. But he did have Arthur Smith as his OC, who I would say he's right behind Shanahan if we're listing them. Ryan Tannehill, who had 2 great years and one of the best running games in football. I look at Terry McLaurin. He has put up similar, if not better, production than all these guys. 2 straight 1K seasons. Has only missed 1 game in the past 2 seasons. The worst quarterback play out of all these guys, and the drop-off is significant. Worst play caller, worst running game. And in 2021, on contested catches, McLaurin had the highest grade of any receiver and was first in catches with 25. He's had 8 different starting quarterbacks in 3 seasons. And this past season, just 62.7% of his targets were catchable, which is the lowest rate of all wide receivers with 100-plus targets this past season. What Terry McLaurin has been able to produce in Washington, despite having no quarterback, despite having a play caller in Scott Turner who is average at best, a running game that is not great. It's good. Like, they have these gadget guys like Gibson. Like, he's okay. I just look at Terry and I'm like, what he's been able to do is the most impressive. And if I put all these guys in a similar situation with a court, like if all these guys had the chance to play with Aaron Rodgers, I think Terry McLaurin probably has the best season out of all these guys. I think Terry McLaurin, he's been in by far the worst situation, yet his production is similar to all these guys. I can't ignore that. And yeah, I would love the Jets to get Deebo, but if all these 3 guys were in the open market for trade, Terry McLaurin sounds like he's staying in Washington, and they're going to give him the money.
They should.
I would want Terry McLaurin 1. Because even if Zach Wilson isn't good, I know it doesn't matter if he's not good because McLaurin has proven he could play with any quarterback.
For sure.
That's why he's my 1. And I've been high on Terry for a long time, and he's my 1 with these guys.
Damn.
He's my 1.
I was not expecting that. I thought maybe you would have had Debo 2 at least.
It was close, but I just can't, one great season. I love Debo. It's close between him and AJ.
Best take ever?
What?
That's his best take ever?
It's up there.
Well, NFL is a season-to-season take.
I'm fine with that. I am fine with that, but we look at Tyreek Hill in a certain light because he's done it for a long time. but he was with Andy Reid his entire career. He's going to Mike McDaniel now, so we are projecting him to be put in a successful spot because Mike McDaniel is partly responsible for Debo's success to a degree. Obviously, Shanahan gets like probably 75, 80% credit. You still got to give some love to McDaniel. Debo is probably going to be put in a situation where, let's say he goes to the Jets. Mike LaFleur, you guys think the world of Mike LaFleur. Mike LaFleur started to show some things down the stretch, really start to open up the playbook, be a little bit more smarter with his plays. We saw Braxton Berrios start to see similar looks. Now, Debo's going to get those looks. Are we not expecting Debo to be put in a position to be successful also? My point being is we just saw Debo come off 14 touchdowns. Almost, 2,000 all-purpose yards?
It's close.
By far and away has been the most successful out of these three. But
He's had the best season.
But your point of Terry doing it with terrible quarterback play is fair. But then is your trajectory of Terry McLaurin DeAndre Hopkins?
Yes.
You think Terry could be a top 3 receiver?
That's the only thing.
I've said it multiple times on the show. I think he can have a top 5 receiving season.
That's the only. As soon as he's saying what he's saying, the only thing that was in my mind is DeAndre Hopkins.
40% of his targets are uncatchable. That's ridiculous.
He's amazing. I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying he's DeAndre. Like that's strong, but that's the thinking that Terry McLaurin's fans have, which is justifiable given his quarterback play and his success.
Do you think, who would you rather have, Terry or Jalen Waddle?
Talking to the wrong person. I like Jalen Waddle's versatility.
Well, Jalen Waddle just did that with a quarterback that's not good.
Because, I love Terry, but that's a discussion for me.
I agree.
He just broke the record for rookie.
Is Terry 3 for you?
Yeah, Terry's 3.
Okay.
But can Jalen Waddle not have a top 5 receiving season? Is he not capable of being a top 5 receiver in the league?
He has that upside.
Can Waddle be a top 5 receiver?
That's what you said.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry.
what I said,
I'm sorry.
Just because when I'm thinking the top 3-5 guys, you got Jettas, Chase.
I'm gonna be honest.
Tyreek.
This is a hot take. I think that Jalen Waddle has a better season than Tyreek Hill next year.
So wait, you're saying McLaurin can be a top receiver in the league?
He's a top 3.
Jalen Waddle?
No, McLaurin top 3.
He can have a top 5 receiving season, and these things change. Like Stephon Diggs had a top 5 receiving season, top 3.
But he was still top 7 at worst.
But yeah, he fell out the top 5 though.
Okay, but we're talking
That's what I'm
7.
saying.
We're
That's what
talking
I'm saying.
7.
Like
what's Debo going to fall off
like
to?
what? Debo has a history of injury. If he gets hurt
so does AJ.
I know. That's why they're 2 and 3 for me. Terry,
I want to say it was only his second year Debo got hurt. He played 15, I want to say, his first season.
He did. And he had almost 900 yards.
Yeah, for rookie, it's fantastic.
But he also was hurt this
and
past
he still
season
had 3
too.
rushing touchdowns.
He didn't miss. Debo didn't miss games, but there were multiple games where he was hobbled. He played through it.
Yeah.
But he was hobbled, and if you knew he wasn't playing for a contract, he probably does sit out for that.
I mean, we saw against the game against the Cowboys where he's visibly shaken up, and even still, he gets the last touch of the offensive possession and gets the first down. He did that. He willed that offense.
You know what? I'll change my list. McLaurin's 1 for me, but Debo's 2. AJ's 3. AJ is 3.
I don't hate the Terry take. I actually really love it.
I love Terry.
I don't see top 3 in the
But the DeAndre, that's where I really have issues. Like, it's
I love
difficult.
Terry.
Is Carson who does he have to be paired with to have a top 3 season? Is it Wentz? Wentz is by far his best quarterback.
I wouldn't rule it out with Wentz.
It's not crazy.
He will definitely have a top 10.
So who's falling out the top 3?
Season.
I'm not saying top 3. I'm saying that he can get. I said top 10 conversation. He's going as far to say top 3. We have a clear difference in opinions.
So who
here.
do you think? Chase, Jetta's, Tay? Who falls out? Or throw Cup in there? Like, who falls out? It's just because Terry could be great, and you could also realize there's just better receivers.
I think he can have a better season than Stephon Diggs.
Can he have a better season than healthy DeAndre Hopkins?
No, not this. No.
Really?
No.
A healthy DeAndre? No.
Even
he can have a better season.
He wasn't doing much in yardage.
Touchdowns were
nuts. Yes, touchdowns were crazy.
Look,
but touchdowns change year to year.
You're asking the wrong person because I don't trust Carson Wentz. So even though he's the best quarterback he's played with, but
it's different when you say, if Terry got Aaron Rodgers, he could be a top 5 receiver.
So
if Terry was with Tannehill, if Terry was with Jimmy G and Kyle Shanahan's offense. Yeah.
How long into Terry's career are we going to keep saying that he has this top 3 potential then if he's not going to get the quarterback
going
suited
into
for
year
him?
4, right?
Yeah.
Year 4?
Year 4.
I'll say this: if this year it doesn't happen, I'll put my foot off the brake. I'll put my foot off the pedal a little bit.
Yeah.
If it doesn't happen this year with Wentz, but until I have to see it this year with Wentz, because Wentz is a top 18 quarterback.
Yeah. That's what. If Terry's really like that, I think he could make it happen with.
He
is like that for sure.
He easily will. I think Terry's gonna have a great season this year for sure.
Terry's the best out of him, Deontay, DJ Moore.
Terry, Deontay, DJ Moore.
I feel like
conversation.
Like
I would probably put
guys.
Terry. I'd probably go Deontay, DJ Moore.
DJ Moore is it's Terry, DJ, and Deontay's the one that's left out.
All three of those guys are close. They're all like
Deontay and DJ are interchangeable.
That right there is the battle of the bad quarterbacks. All those three guys
Easily.
So let's rank them right now. So Terry McLaurin, DJ Moore, and Deontay Johnson. Rank them 1, 2, 3.
Very firm. Terry McLaurin, Deontay Johnson, DJ Moore.
I agree.
You think so? So
I have the same
exact list. I have Terry McLaurin, DJ Moore, and Deontay Johnson. I just don't know how you can put Deontay over DJ Moore and Terry McLaurin. I just don't. Right now, at least.
We just have him over DJ.
DJ Moore, I feel like in terms of physical profile, provides more than McLaurin, and I think him over McLaurin's an argument. DJ Moore is one of those guys that if he gets a quarterback,
can DJ Moore be a top 3 receiver in the NFL?
He can have a top 5 receiving season with a great quarterback. Yes, no doubt about it.
DJ Moore's a stud.
DJ Moore
is really good,
like that.
but you're saying McLaurin can be a top 3.
DJ Moore.
How many receivers can have a top 5 season at this point?
DJ Moore can have a similar.
Cooper Kupp came in and
he did in 2019 too, though.
DJ was he top
Moore,
5?
Damn close. He was.
He was damn close. I agree.
DJ Moore can have a similar. He can do similar things to Debo. He can. He's not the.
He's not as physical.
He's not the physical runner Debo is, but he can carry the ball. He can do those things.
For sure.
He can do those things.
He's a beast. I'll just give my list real quick.
I think a lot of players can have top 5 receivers.
Yeah, that's why we went.
I mean, it changes every year. I don't think it ever is the same every year. It changes every year.
Yeah, because I don't think anyone's expecting Chase to have a top 5 season year 1. Same thing with Jettas.
Devontae Adams has been super consistent. DeAndre's been super consistent. Jettas will be in the top 3 discussion for a minimum of 6 seasons.
It's probably more we're forgetting.
Name your list, then I'll do this.
At 3, I had Terry. I think first of all, I think all these guys are tremendous. So if you have Terry 1, 2, or 3, I'm not going to argue with you too much. I have Terry at 3 just because I think out of all these guys, he could probably do the least in terms of after the catch, even though he's probably the best route runner out of all these guys.
Easy.
At 2, I have Debo Samuel. He's probably the most versatile out of the 3. He could handle the ball. He's physical. He's fast. I mean, he's basically everything you want when it comes to this wide back position. But number 1, I'm a huge AJ Brown fan. I think if you put him in a system that focuses him as the offense, like with Deebo, where he's the primary focus when it's not Derrick Henry, like how it currently is on Tennessee, it wouldn't shock me at all if he put up a very similar season to Deebo. I think he could run the ball, not as good as Deebo. I think Deebo is a 1 of 1 when it comes to that. But in terms of receiving, being an overall receiver, I think he has higher upside than Deebo.
And plus, the take last year was Deebo over DK.
Yeah.
Wasn't any of these guys.
I know,
I
but
think all these guys are better than DK.
That was a crazy hot take at the time because DK was coming off 12 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards, like a ridiculous season.
Yeah, DK was in that border conversation of top 7? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but in terms of like skills, because he had the size, like in terms of skills, McLaurin, Debo, and AJ to me were always over him.